force things, give it to him. I did not ever imagine Jalango can even, leave alone win. Okay. Ooh.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Oma, and welcome to Red Ring Unfiltered. Today, the 10th day of February 2026. And of course, as the year promised, a lot of political tensions here and there, political pronouncements here and there, and of course, helping us to decipher these events and the happenings and analyze whatever is in the political scene is none other than Advice Mondalo. Advice, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
How are
This is
you?
my very first time on
Red
your
Ring
set.
Unfiltered.
Yeah, I like the coach. It makes things look more serious.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Advice, how have you been? Happy New Year, because it's your first time here. You know?
Yeah, not bad. Happy New Year to you too. I was told we are going to say Happy New Year. Everyone says Happy New Year until their birthday.
Yes.
So mine is to say Happy New Year to everyone until May.
Until May.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Advice. And last weekend we saw a lot of political activities.
Yeah.
From Busia, we had Linda Mwananchi, and then we had Linda Ground from the Gladys Wanga and the likes. ODM is drifting away from its principles.
ODM looks like if there's a time it needs Baba is now. But the reality is that what is happening is in ODM is not very far-fetched, because most of the time, even when a father has left the ground, when the father dies, you always see a lot of disarray, mostly even in families. So it is not very, very far-fetched. But again, I expected better from ODM. I think they are not doing their followers and their members any justice by continuously pulling in different directions. Though I do not necessarily think that they are pulling in different directions. I think there is one group that is pulling in a different direction from the party.
Okay.
I've kept arguing that there is the party position, because we have kept seeing there is a party leadership, there is a party structure, there is a party national management committee.
Yes.
So when a party structure gives direction, that is the party position. So the ones who speak otherwise, those ones are the people who are disobeying the political party. So in my view, the Sifuna faction and the James Orengo are just people disobeying the party position, because there is a non-party position. There is a non-party leadership structure. They have been part and parcel of the constitution of the party leadership structure.
Yes.
When you want to move away from what you've already agreed upon as an institution, then it's, for lack of a better word, simply bad manners. Because when you are running Red Ring Media here, you have a chain of command.
Yes.
There are things you agree on. Yeah, if we agree on doing something a certain way and another one does it completely a different way, we don't say Red Ring has split into two.
Yes.
We just say the other person is disrespectful of the leadership of Red Ring.
But when you, for example, the Sifuna-led faction says that, you know, Raila Odinga did not give us express orders to follow William Ruto, whereas the other faction led by Wanga says that we want to work with UDA. Wananchi, what will they be following now?
I think the problem is usually that all of us can know the truth.
Yes.
And all of us can have facts, but some of us can choose to alternate those facts. Because it is true that Raila Odinga came to the broad-based government. I think that's a fact. We don't have a disagreement about that. It is another fact that when Raila Odinga had a conversation with President William Ruto and started working together, it was at the height of the Gen Z protest.
Yes.
It is also a fact that Edwin Sifuna came out in defense of Raila Odinga at the time and told the Gen Zs that you guys did not have a leader, but we have a leader.
Yes.
And that is our direction. He is on record to having said that.
Yes.
This is a gentleman who in himself, he has kept defending and reading statements of the ODM and reassuring them about their position in the broad-based government. The same Raila Odinga is on record to having told the people and his members that let people go and say whatever they want to say. But when the right time comes, we shall explain to our people why we took the decisions that we took. and we shall see who they will trust. That is also on record.
Yes.
Essentially, that essentially was meaning that in 2027, shall still come and tell people why we did what we did, and we will convince them of those reasons. So the truth is, it is only when you want to force your way,
yes,
is when you want to start saying that Raila Odinga did not leave us in broad-based. How? You were in broad-based. Honorable Paranya is a cabinet secretary. Yeah, Honorable Mbadi is there courtesy of the broad-based government. Joho is there. So all these people, including the government under President Ruto, supported and funded the campaign of the party leader of ODM, then Raila Odinga, to become AU chair. So that is the relationship that has been, and those are the facts. So these are the things that I hear people struggling to talk about. For me, it's just populist politics,
yes,
and a struggle to look for alternative facts, because in my view, the facts are very bare that Raila Odinga left the ODM in the broad-based government. And in the event that you don't even want to quote Raila Odinga,
yes,
then you still have the party and you have the party leadership. So let us, even if they were to divorce themselves from the issues about Raila, what is the decision of the party? The decision of the party is that they have sat at a national management committee and agreed that they are going to have conversations with other political parties, beginning with UDA. That is the position. So when you run away from that, then you are simply, in my view, being populist, and you're just being stubborn, in my view. Of course, many people would, and you know, it's always nice to be populist.
Yes.
A lot of youthful exuberance and some populists, but the facts as they are is that in truth, in black and white, the ODM party, if we were to go by Raila Odinga's position, he left the party under the broad-based arrangement. He had his ministers inside there, and he assured his people that at the right time, he will explain what it was. And even at, by the time of Raila's demise, he had organized ODM at 20, and the chief guest was President William Ruto. Those are the facts. So anyone, I don't know these other people, I don't know what they quote.
but for example, in the Busia meeting, Babu Owino and other leaders said that, you know, they are ready to resign from ODM and probably go for a by-election. Why don't they resign?
But I wish it was them you asked that question instead of me, because you see, what happened in Busia is political excitement and entertainment that sometimes you might mistake for political support. When you hold the stature of Sifuna, Babu Owino, James Orengo,
yes,
first of all, you are a celebrity. So anywhere you go, trust me, people will come,
show up,
will come to see you. Now, when you mistake that for political support, then you might end up losing the point. Remember, all these people, if they are actually true, you know, you don't go to threaten and say, we can even go for by-elections.
Yes.
I think they have a different path that they want to chart. I think they have a youthful type of politics that they want to do, which I think is their right, is their democratic right. The only thing that they might be doing wrong, or that they are doing wrong, is to stir the waters inside ODM, when you can simply leave and chart your own path and do whatever you want, you want to do. Test yourselves on the ballot. Remember, when you look at that meeting in Busia,
yes,
political support is weighed by the number of political leaders present in your meeting.
Yes.
Busia County has several MCAs, I think maybe about 30 or so, or even over. There was none of them. There was no member of parliament. There was no women rep. The meeting had no senator. The governor did not attend. So the inhabitants, the real leaders of Busia, were not actually not there. So you have the senator of Nairobi who has gone to hold a meeting in Busia. Why wasn't the meeting in Nairobi? You have an MP from Nairobi, they have gone to
Busia.
You have James Orengo, who is the governor of Siaya, they have gone to the meeting where?
Busia.
So all these people are not inhabitant leaders of Busia County. So this is what I call, it's purely political entertainment. It serves the optical value. It serves for the optics. It will trend. It will look fashionable at some point.
Yes.
But trust me, it will be a dead on arrival mistake to imagine that as actually political support. I really think that because the Sifuna wants to chart a different political path.
Yes.
The good manners is to leave ODM, have the outfit of your choice, and advance your narrative. After all, we already saw you disagree with Raila Odinga when he was alive.
Yes.
It is not that Sifuna started this when Baba has died. We saw that from the time he was alive. So meaning, already you are feeling like this is not the right direction. You're feeling you have a better direction,
Yes.
which is you are right. You might be right. I don't know. But instead of stirring the waters and disturbing the leadership of the party and causing, why don't you just leave and chart that path if you believe in yourself that much?
But you see, people like Sifuna said, for example, before Baba died,
Yeah.
he gave us, this 10-point agenda
Yeah.
and how he want them fulfilled.
Yeah.
And the other day when he was in Citizen Television, he said that there was a timeline,
Yeah.
and the timeline elapsed in a month's time.
Yeah.
But there is no tangible action that has been taken to ensure the implementation of the NADCO report.
Yeah. I agree to the extent that it was true that it was actually a 10-point agenda that they signed between UDA and President William Ruto and ODM. And I agree that it has a few days to lapse, probably now less than 30 because we are doing this way later.
Yes.
But goodwill dictates that you can wait for the report because there is something about goodwill.
Yes.
Remember, Sifuna, on the day that 10-point agenda was done, he again was on Citizen TV and he said he does not believe in those things. So why does he want the results now? So already you have shown contempt. You have disregarded it. You've said you don't believe in it. And yet it is something that has been signed by your political party in your presence. You've disregarded it. You've shown it contempt. But when it is conveniently coming to an end, you want to be arrogant to be the one to now seek the results without even waiting for the timeline. It is simply the politics of populism that I'm talking about, that you want to reason conveniently when it favors you. Like the way he reads the memorandum of the National Management Committee.
Yes.
When Sifuna reads the memorandum of the National Management Committee, he says that it says that they are allowed to start engagements with any other political party for the sake of 2027. And he says that's why he's talking to others. But he conveniently avoids to read that it also says beginning with UDA. So you see, that is basically a populist approach to politics, which is an unfortunate scenario. Especially, I am usually very perturbed and very disturbed when such kind of approach to politics is done by the younger generation of politicians, because then that means we are not different from the legacy politicians, because we are supposed to be a different breed of political leaders who are more result-oriented, who are more about the true welfare of the people and not about using the people as just a ladder for us to climb and get to where we want to be.
Yes. Yeah. And the funding, there's the critics of the Linda ground says that they are being funded with some forces with ulterior motives. What do you say to that?
Same thing that I'm telling you, that it's purely Sifuna being Sifuna. I've told you he's kept being a very inconsistent person. You can't demand that the others tell you where their funding is coming from, yet you are also holding other meetings and you are also not telling us where the funding is coming from. He said he has not signed checks for the Linda ground because the Secretary General.
Since the ODM at 20.
Yeah, so my question would be, did he sign checks for the meetings that he now did in Busia? So it is a parallel arrangement of a lot of inconsistencies from Honorable Sifuna, where I can assure you it is purely convenience thinking from a political leader. That's why you'll be able to see all those inconsistencies. You, at one point, you're saying it would have been right for the deputy party leaders of ODM to take over the party leadership because you had deputies. But when Sifuna came in through a coup in ODM and was made Secretary General, he conveniently doesn't want us to also imagine that there was a deputy then who would have taken over from Ababu instead of him. So that is what I'm calling selective thinking. Yes. You only agree with things that move towards your direction. And when it's not towards your direction, it's unnecessary. And that's why you'll be able to see you want to quote the constitution of the party selectively in different aspects that are able to favor
Advance
your
your
line
agenda.
of argument and your agenda. That's why you will be very disturbed when someone asks you a question about your role as a senator.
Yes.
Because you see, the mandate that the people of, of Kenya gave Sifuna is to be senator of Nairobi, by the way.
Yes.
Not to be any other thing. The mandate he was given by the people is to be senator of
Nairobi.
I don't remember when you saw him talking about issues of Nairobi.
I don't know.
And even when he's asked on interview, he says those ones you can research about them, they are in the Hansard. Okay?
Yeah.
Because to him, he is more interested in a sensational agenda. The sensational agenda about ODM, the agenda about all those other non-issues, where where it matters most,
Yes.
he has no real explanation. That's my problem with that faction. Because whenever I looked at the interview of Winnie Odinga,
Yes.
she had a lot to say about everything else except her role as a Yala MP. When she was asked, what have you done as a Yala MP? She could barely articulate the roles of an Yala MP. And that is what I'm telling you, the problem that we get ourselves into when we get used to the politics of populism.
Yes.
And that is the problem of this country. We want to love our leaders because they spoke what we thought we want to hear, not because they did the work that we sent them to do. And that is the pinnacle of the problem. We want to be this kind of people that will want to celebrate a leader because of their talking and not because of their action. And that's why all leaders today are competing in who talks best. That's why all leaders today, nobody's showing you what they are doing. They're just competing in terms of who can insult each other more, who can do this even more. It is worse when it is the young type of leaders, because young leaders are supposed to be progressive. We are supposed to be asking ourselves, how has this person done?
Yes.
When we are looking at clapping for Honorable James Orengo, we need to remember that he's a governor.
Yes, of Siaya.
Of Siaya. He's actually an excellency. He has the mandate that President Ruto has for the country, James Orengo has for the county
of Siaya.
So if he is as good a person as he wants to make us believe, why can't we see the model of the country he wants in Siaya County? So that we can be able to say, wow, when you look at what James Orengo has done in Siaya, hey, this is commendable. This guy actually makes a lot of sense. Now, you're not seeing that. When you look at Honorable Sifuna, we are not being able to say, look at the job he has actually done in Nairobi. Look at the oversight. Look at how he has put governor on task. Look at how the county has changed so much because of the guy being senator. We're not arguing about that. We're not being able to say, wait a minute. You see, because Sifuna has been Secretary General of ODM, look at how he has used the money from the Register of Political Parties. Look at how they have funded youthful activities. Look at how they have done this. Look at how they have used the money at ODM.
Corporate social responsibility.
Look at what the CSR is at ODM. Look at how they have responded even to fire in their strongholds like Nairobi and strongholds like Busia and strongholds like Homa Bay, where there are people, there is a lot of flooding. Look at them. Look, why can't we have a track record of such a nature where we are saying, look at how he has been actually a Secretary General. But what do we want to praise the most about a leader? We want to say that he was on TV and he insulted Halwali. We want to say that he was on TV and he talked, he said someone's point is little, not, and such kind of things. So for me, I feel like for the country to move forward, especially for the young leadership, it has to be more intentional. It has to be more intentional. I have no problem with those leaders. They are young. They can chart a path. But can we be able to anchor it on something more fundamental? Can we anchor it on this is where what I have done?
Yes.
This is where I have gotten you.
Yes.
And this is the path that I think we should be able to take. But in terms of just being populist, I think it works for nobody.
Talking about the young generation, there's the Okech Salah, you know?
Yeah.
And he held a meeting in town the other day, I think last weekend, but one. And ODM had to come out and issue a formal statement distancing itself with Okech Salah's activity. He must be causing a lot of jitters in the party.
Very true, because I look at the statement and ask myself, but they were aware that he was planning it. They would have come out to denounce the meeting before it happened. Because remember, it's not like we woke up one day and there was a miracle in town called a meeting of
Linda
Okexala
comrades.
and the Linda I think in ODM everyone is lindering someone.
Everyone, yeah.
Some are lindering ground, others are
Linda
lindering
Wananchi,
Wananchi.
and
Yeah,
we
now
have Linda
someone is
comrades.
lindering. Now that is total confusion for a political party. I actually joked and said, in ODM all you need is some money for a venue. And then you can also have a meeting with
Linda Wanawake.
you can linda someone in ODM. I think it is unnecessary. They need to call their house to order. The house needs to be put together and they need to chart a path. We are only about less than 2 years to the next election. They need to get more organized than that. Otherwise, this kind of thing that they're doing is not doing the party any justice. And I think the party leadership has to crack their whip as well. Yeah, because I know their party leader, Oburu, has really tried to be a very diplomatic person.
Yes.
But I think there comes a time when diplomacy will mess them up. They have to really make decisions, crack the whip, and move the party at in one direction. Yeah.
Well, moving forward, and the president today was launching something, as he did with Safaricom. The other day, he talked about people earning at least less than 30,000 pay as you earn. They will be paying that.
Yeah.
And a lot of promises that have come recently, lately, and people have begin noticing them.
Yeah.
Only 1 year, 5 months to election. What is really happening?
I don't know what you mean by a lot of promises. Yeah. I haven't seen really a lot of promises. I have seen some interventions. For instance, when you talk about the issue of people earning below 30,000 being exempted from pay, and the lifting of people from below 50,000 from 35% to 25%.
25%.
Now, government must react to the needs of the people, and government must listen to the people. Okay?
Okay.
Now, you will agree with me that one of the biggest complaints that the people have had in the recent past has been on taxation.
Yes.
We have kept saying that it's the burden of taxation is too high. Yes. The burden is too serious. My wonder is usually when we complain about something, then when government does an intervention, we call it political. Because the government is simply responding to what we've kept saying. And the impact is very serious, trust me, because the people earning below 30,000 shillings, when you compound that money, these people are going to save about 1,000 shillings.
Yes.
Okay? When you save about 1,000 shillings, that means per year, these people are going to save about 12,000 shillings. You would tell me, a person who is earning 30,000 probably lives in a house worth about how much?
About 4,000, 5,000.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that means the money that is being saved from this person per year can actually take care of about their 3 months or 2 months rent.
Yes.
Now that is the level of impact. And that money, remember, the person who is earning this kind of money is also the person who directly engages the economy. They buy from the mamamboga and the shop out there. They are not privileged people like you who keep buying from Carrefour.
Okay.
So they will be able to engage the mamamboga. They'll buy from the shop. So, and that is how an economy moves. So me, I feel it was a very good move by government, because I am one of the people who believe that governments must be allowed to function. And governments must be allowed to move the country forward. We can't perpetually live in an activist mode whereby we complain about everything, but any intervention that is done is also a wrong thing. I don't believe in that, because that's one of the things that make people think that it will be very hard for me to be elected, because I'm not a populist guy. Because easy politics is populist. Let me tell you.
Tell me.
The easiest thing for you to do when you want to be elected, just say everything is bad. Just say it's bad. It's bad. You don't even need to listen. Just say it is bad. It is very easy to do that. And that's why some politicians want familiar grounds, because it is hard to make sense and explain to people reality and face people by issues. That's why people like Honorable Sifuna and James Orengo only want politics as they know it, where there is populism, where you push emotions and sentiments.
Yes.
Because you know that potentially, probably Nairobi is more or less an opposition stronghold, so people are more annoyed.
Yes.
So you don't want to be in a place where you have to explain to people real issues. You only want to be in a place where it is a narrative of populism can carry you and get you to the next level.
Yes.
So we have so many people who have been carried by narratives of populism. I am so disturbed when young politicians cannot be able to have conversations on an agenda and they're able to say that, you know what, we don't care about anything that the president does. All we want is that he should go home. We can't reason like that as a young generation.
Yes.
We can't be the kind of people who are telling people that it doesn't matter anything that happens. All we want is this. We cannot be able to tell people. I was so disturbed when I heard one of the leaders saying, we don't care even if you build how many roads.
Yes, people don't eat roads.
We don't eat roads.
Yes.
Yeah, all we want is this. We don't care even if SHA works. Really? I think in my generation, I would want that the politics is advanced from a progressive perspective. So that when we want to talk about President William Ruto, whether you want to remove him or you want to vote him up again, you must reason on the basis of issues. It cannot just be that, it cannot just be your feelings. Yeah, you must tell us, why do you think, if you think his programs are not progressive,
yes,
you must tell us why you think SHA
is not working,
is bad. You must tell us why you think affordable housing is not a good idea.
Yes.
You must tell us why you think the Talanta Stadium is not a good idea. You must tell us why you think that sports people being remunerated about $1 million shillings per game is not a good idea. You must explain to us why you think that opening of the Open University, which is giving university education at half the fee, is not a good idea. You must show us your alternatives. You can't just say these things are bad. And so when we ask you what are your alternatives, you tell us, I'll tell you after we have come in. I think that's not the kind of country that I would want to live in. I think we need to start analyzing things for their facts. So even if you support whoever, I always challenge people and say, whoever you support, try and ask yourself, why do I support this person? Ask yourself, apart from me listening to Sifuna speak nicely, and I love the gust, and him saying, Mimi ndiye sijui Sifuna. Away from that, do you have a reason why you really, really want to support him? Yeah.
As we draw the conversation to a close, the opposition has always hit back at the president that there is lack of good governance in the country, and that is what they will provide, especially to quote Matiang'i, that they will provide good governance. Do you think he has the moral authority to say that?
You really want us to talk about Matiang'i?
Oh, yeah, as we close.
You really want us to talk about Matiang'i, who left the education system at CBC without a structure? Really? Which guts does he then have to really lecture?
But he was not the minister in charge of education.
He was. The thing started. No. You have to look at what point do we start transitioning? It was him. Then Amina Mohammed. And what did Amina advise? Amina advised that, you know what, we are not ready for CBC. Okay? Now, you want to talk about Honorable Matiang'i, who disobeyed how many court orders? 12. You really want us to go there? You want to talk about Honorable Matiang'i, who at his time, he's accused of things like the alleged Ruaraka land scandal. You want to talk about Honorable Matiang'i, who, when we remember very well, at the height of the protests that we were having at the opposition was having in this town, what used to happen to those protesters? Do you want us to remember about the death of the Bipendo? Because those were atrocities that happened when he was in office. The Kianjoma brothers died when Matiang'i was in office. So we have so many things that we can talk about. When you talk about the painting of school buses, when they moved the colors to yellow, did you remember having a public participation forum? You want us to really talk about Matiang'i at a time when he was moving to immigration and lecturing everybody that for anything to work, he must be there physically. Today, bro, we are having passports in less than 2 weeks. But there's not in 3 days. Do you see drama happening at immigration? Do you see the minister sitting at immigration and causing drama and for some of those things to happen? Today, bro, when last did you hear of a terror attack in Kenya? Have you heard of a terror attack since President Ruto took over?
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
But we have pockets of Al-Shabaab military.
Have you seen a terror attack?
No.
Exactly. Now, when you even go to the Northern Hemisphere, where we had a lot of Al-Shabaab, and at that time, when the regional commissioner was George Natembeya, in fact, the attacks were so rampant that Natembeya became a celebrity and it made him governor. Today, I would dare to ask you, do you know the regional commissioner of the Rift Valley?
No.
Yeah, and the reason you don't know him is because there is a calm in that situation. So for me, I'm like, okay, fine. We have people who might have a very high opinion of Fred Matiang'i. But for me, what I'm telling you are basically the facts. I think I'm not making anything up. You want us to go back the days when we would be lecturing school head teachers every other time, and that is now what is called work. I personally do not believe in that abrasive style of leadership. I personally believe in a leadership that creates systems that work, not individuals that work.
All right.
It should be systems that work. But the previous, during Matiang'i's time, he made it look like it is him. Without him, this country can be able to go nowhere. I don't think. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, advice, for always
Asante.
having your time so that we can always decipher these things
Asante.
and put them into perspective. Emmanuel Oma is my name, and this has been Reading Unfiltered. Until next time, good afternoon.